I'm gonna fucking dude.
You can't call Throne of Liberty. You've only played it for 1 week. You can't possibly know that it's a better game. Yeah, I can. All right, let's hit northeast. Let's go northeast. Let's go northeast. Hit him early. Hit him early. Hit him early. Just dive away from the boss.
They are out of zone.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that I can.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. So Zeratin has played Throne of Liberty and he has initial thoughts. Zeratin's a Black Desert streamer and I'm genuinely curious how the BDO streamers are taking Throne of Liberty. I have some people on my YouTube comments that are like, I don't even know how you play Throne of Liberty. The game's graphics are so ass. Bro, like Pearl Abyss simp lords, dude. Literally insane.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be doing a quick review on Throne of Liberty based off of my early experiences. I don't really have a lot invested in terms of how I feel about this game, and
I wonder, yeah, I wonder how Zeratin, how far he got. Because did he get to 50?
And the longevity of the game. So I'm kind of giving you guys my honest review as things go on, as I go through the game and as we learn more about it. I have a lot of experience with MMOs. I've played MMOs from the early days of World of Warcraft's beta release all the way through a game called Grow.
Age Elder? No, you do not. It's got 2 different targets, so you can target an enemy and an ally at the same time, and your heals will target the allies when you cast them, and then your enemies, it'll just auto-target the whatever enemy you have targeted.
Online. I played Ion, I played Terra, I played Wildstar, I've played Champions Online, I played City of Villains, I played Black Desert.
This is really, so I've played a lot of BDO. BDO is my first MMO. I played a little Guild Wars too. And I do, to be clear, I do plan on continuing that series. We're just in the middle of a new MMO release right now. So like I'm playing Throne of Liberty right now. I'll go back to playing Guild Wars 2 and give it the honest shake. I promise, guys, after the Throne of Liberty has kind of relaxed a little bit and we're into a rhythm and I have a little bit more time on my hands. But like I've really only played Black Desert for tens of thousands of hours. Guild Wars 2 I've played for, 10 hours or so. But like Throne of Liberty is the first game that I've put into a massive amount of time into outside of BDO.
It online extensively. So I come from a breadth of knowledge in how MMOs work. So if you want an unbiased review, somebody who does not really care about the longevity in terms of how this game goes, somebody who can give you a fair and honest review, you've come to the right place. All right, so I'm going to kind of break this down into a few sections. First, we're going to talk about the visuals, and then we'll talk.
Okay, I'll give my thoughts on visuals first. That way it doesn't look like pre-watched or anything. And I'm not just agreeing with him or disagreeing with him the whole time. My thoughts on visuals are, I think that the visuals overall are better. I think they edge out Black Desert. I think that BDO has better visuals when you're just standing in town and stuff. I think the game looks more pretty. And I think your characters themselves look more pretty in BDO. And the character like customization is way better in BDO, like infinitely better. However, because of how Black Desert works and how the directly impacts your gameplay and like how much FPS you have equals how much DPS you have. Oh, I forgot to put the text tool on here. Hold on, let me put the text tool up here. FPS equals DPS. Because of this, Black Desert loses in overall graphic quality because everyone turns down their graphics in order to grind. Everyone turns down their graphics in order to do PvP and stuff, and it immediately becomes worse than Throne of Liberty, who you can just keep it epic the whole time and not have a problem with performance. So like, that's the reason I think that the visuals in TNL are just stronger.
Combat, and then the PvP systems of the game, and the group content.
PvP system's way better. Group content's way better in TNL too. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't care how much you simp for Pearl Abyss. I don't give a how much you like BDO. Lord knows I love BDO more than anybody. The group content in this game in Throne of Liberty is way better. Way better. It's not even close. The PvP systems are infinitely better. And the reason a lot of people are frustrated with BDO is the PvP systems in BDO have potential to be way better than Throne of Liberty. Like, BDO can absolutely be a way better game than TNL if the developers listen. That's just the point, right? But the current state of BDO, Throne of Liberty is better at everything except for combat. It's literally just that simple. Like, that's why everyone's so mad with BDO, is because it has potential to have the systems and everything that TNL has and just objectively be a better game. But the developers just don't want to listen to anyone. So Throne feels better with PvE, group content, PvP systems, and everything else.
Now keep in mind, I'm about level 29 in the game right now. So you're going to be getting...
My GTX 750 Ti gave up on TNL. When did the GTX 750 Ti come out? Okay, butter pumpkin, sweetie pumpkin, butter cakes. So your graphics card came out in early 2014, Buttercup. Your card is 10 years old, okay? In Black Desert, if you boot up Black Desert with that card, your card is okay. It's just not it no work. Okay, it time get new card. Okay, any card. Okay, Windows graphics are almost beating this.
The perspective of a player who's about midway through the leveling process, I will go.
I got a 4060. It works fine. Okay, well, yeah, well, not everybody has a 4060, but yeah, you should be able to run Epic on anything above like probably a 3060 can probably run Epic graphics.
Come back and do another review towards the end game of the process, so you guys can get a more updated version of this. Might be a week or two out, who knows. I want to get my hands on the game and really kind of experience it more before I give you guys a more in-depth analysis. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. So early on, you have we talk about the visuals here. You can see as I look around in the game is very striking. I was actually really impressed with the way this game came out. I did not expect it to have this beautiful of a visual. And right now the game is raining. So I just want to show you, even in foggy and rainy weather, how far and how vast your view of the game can be. You know, you can see the towns and the cities and even the islands all the way out in the distance.
And again, there's no pop-in effect in Throne of Liberty. This is what makes it better than BDO overall. Is that, like, standing in town, you can look at the background and have it not be like a rectangle. You know what I mean? Like, there's no pop-in effect. But again, up close, I think that Black Desert wins for sure. Like, in terms of how the characters look, right? Like, the characters look way better in BDO. The weapons look better. Like, overall, like the up close, I think graphics look better to BDO. The far away graphics definitely go to TNL. And the problem is you constantly have to turn down your graphics in BDO.
That are kind of glimmering in the distance, mountains.
Imagine my surprise to open Twitch and see myself. I was like, did I leave my stream on? No, you're good, Rob. Sorry. I hope you don't mind. I'm trying to get everybody's impressions on Throne of Liberty, you know?
I have my graphics turned all the way up, so this is the highest end visuals you can get. From my perspective, I feel like the game impressed me greatly. Hey, from the moment I jumped in, it felt really immersive, very alive. Even the graphics from up close and the animations, everything's very smooth. It looks a lot like a modern game you'd expect that was developed around the 2020 timeframe, which is very pleasing to see because I've seen so many MMOs that come out that don't really look that way. Korean games are pretty impressive with this. They usually come out with very beautiful looking games, and it's probably one of their hallmarks. I mean, you look at Black Desert Online, you look at Terra, these games are all very beautiful.
Right on, Zeratin. Yeah, no.
Games. So graphics in the distance look absolutely incredible. Transformations are smooth and pleasant to look at.
Best in genre distance graphics, maybe Lost Ark is better, but the problem with Lost Ark is you can't really look into the distance, right? So I think that TNL definitely has best in genre distance, like graphic visuals.
And we'll go over those transformations right now real quick. So I'll start with the flight transformation. We just jump off like this, and oh, that's not flight.
Oh,
there we go.
Bro, that's happened to me so many times. I jump off, I turn into a dog, bam, dead. Like,
you can see this is transformation
hit the ground like a rock.
into a flight. It looks very smooth. It's pleasant. You have this almost right away from when you start the game, and then we get to the ground, right? And then we go into the ground transformation right here, and it looks even more beautiful. Like just the feeling.
Are you joking now? Blue, you're on such copium if you disregard all the content BDO has over Throne, and Throne is overall a better game. Oh God. Thank you, Robin. Thank you for being here, Robin. I love this. Okay, Robin. So, other than the systems that I've already stated, no, guys, shh, you're gonna scare them away. Life skilling is better in BDO. Okay. PvE is not better. TNL has better PvE content. TNL has better PvP systems. And TNL has better main story questing. Okay, so please tell me where you think that BDO beats Throne and Liberty. No, let him go, guys. Don't get. Let me. TNL is trash. Oh, it's so trash. I can't log into it. Hold on, let him cook. Hold up. Nope, he hasn't said anything yet. All right, Rags, I'm gonna 1vx, chat. I'm gonna 1vx. All right, let's 1vx. Here we go. All right. So, TL is trash. All right, why do you think that BDO is a better game? Okay. BDO has much better combat, right? BDO has much better combat and has better life skills. And like I said, the graphics, I've already explained the graphics like 6 times, right? But I wait for the day to come back crawling on BDO. Oh, they added a new accessory. Okay, so for 2 things, big dog. 2 things. 1, never left BDO. Let's be like 100% clear on your little. Let's be 100% clear about something. This is a BDO video. This is the Cade Games BDO video. That's a Black Desert video. This is a Black Desert video. This is a Black Desert video. Black Desert video. Black Desert patch notes. Black Desert video. Black Desert video. So don't tell me that I've left BDO or that I'm going to come crawling back to BDO. You will, however, come crawling back to my stream chat. And I'll see you on your second account. All right. So now let's see. I haven't said anything about TNL trash. Exactly how is the PvE better in Throne outside of dungeons? Is the only element in PvE that Throne has better optimized. Okay. So Throne and Liberty's dungeons are better, but it's not just like the co-op dungeons. The co-op dungeons they make like the grouping up in the game way stronger than Black Desert because there's no group content in BDO for the most part. It's basically a solo player MMO. And I'll admit, the solo player experience in BDO is stronger than Throne and Liberty. But the reason that we feel that, or at least I feel, that the PvE content in Throne is better is because the co-op dungeons. You can also there's open world dungeons as well that you can go to anytime. At nighttime, they become PvP zones. And during the daytime, if you don't want to PvP, you can go during the daytime and there's no PvP in those dungeons. Okay. There's also dynamic like guild events where you can go to them with your guild and like do stuff. And so there's reasons during the day to go out and group up with your guild and like do PvE stuff with your guild. Which is a lot of fun. And Black Desert could never. The only thing that Black Desert has are guild missions. And let's be honest, we do guild missions solo. It's guild missions in BDO are not guild missions. They're solo missions that you do that happen to benefit the guild. And that's just how it works. In Throne and Liberty, you can actually group up with your guild every hour or 2. You can go to world bosses and field bosses in Throne and Liberty are also like guild contribution based. And so it encourages your entire guild to come together and play together in the same like instance. right? Unlike in BDO where you kind of just hit it, you know, whatever. And again, the solo player experience in BDO is better for this reason because you get your solo loot. In Throne and Liberty, you're encouraged to be in an active guild with people that are playing, and everyone gets in there and they're all DPSing the boss. Everyone wants to group up every few hours for another world boss or another field boss, so that they can get more loot. And again, this encourages more group content in the game, and this is why I think that the PvE content in Throne and Liberty is strictly better. Yeah, I can agree. Better dungeon and group content in Throne. But as you well know, group content is a limiting factor compared to solo gameplay. Well, you can play solo in Throne and Liberty. You can play solo. It's just not nearly going to be as good. And this is because it's a massive multiplayer online game, right? Black Desert players, at least a decent amount of the Black Desert community only plays solo, and they never interact with other players or content for any reason. And this game probably won't be for them. Right? But I think for the vast majority of the MMO player base, right, outside of Black Desert, you can't tell me that Throne is a worse game, right? Because it has better group content, and that's what you want out of an MMO experience, right? Even as the game calms down, you still have something to go do with your guild. Like all the time, there's always things to be doing with your friends. There's always reasons to go explore the world together, to do dungeons together. There's hidden dungeons. There's there's like Conquest War, Node Wars, the field bosses, the world bosses, like all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. So like this makes the PvE content is just strictly stronger for this reason. Because you have to do mechanics and stuff all the time. MMO isn't a solo game. Yeah, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. So comparing BDO and Throne with regard to PvE is far from accurate. Oh, go on. I can agree. It's better group content on Throne, but as you well know, group content is a limiting factor compared to solo gameplay. So comparing BDO and Throne with regard to PvE is far from accurate. No, that's not true at all. You can still compare both of them in PvE because, like, when you're playing against the world, player versus environment, which one has more engaging content that you're more excited about? I do believe that if you ask the average MMO player which game has better, more engaging PvE content, I think that the vast majority of MMO players are choosing Throne and Liberty's PvE content because of the dungeons, because of the field bosses, the world bosses, the open world dungeons, the nighttime stuff, right? The guild events, the open world guild events, the dynamic guild events. There's also PvP guild events, right? Like all that stuff, massive, absolutely massive. But I'm gonna let you go because you had at least you responded and had a fair take. The other guy's a idiot.
Of jumping in and out of transportation is really nice, and this is how the transportation works in this game. It is not, there's no like horses that you're gonna mount on, there's no gliders you're gonna have, you're just gonna have these transformations, so it kind of feels a bit like,
yeah. So moving from point A to point B, I miss the auto path from BDO, but not that much because it gives you the teleport, right? So like the auto path just isn't required in this game. Like BDO has auto path and it feels required because like for a long time the Magnus wasn't in the game. But for Throne and Liberty, you can just teleport to the nearest waypoint and then run to it. It's not the end of the world. There's no mounts, but you can literally turn into animals and you can unlock these things in the game or buy things off the, like cosmetics off the cash shop too, which is fine, and I think that's a fine way to do it. I have no problems with the movement in the game, and I think that it makes it really dynamic as far as like large scale PvP goes, to be able to turn into these different animals all the time.
A druid from World of Warcraft, how you can just kind of transform to like flight form or ground form. There is a swimming form as well, so if you hit the water and you go for a little swim, there's that as well. And as you run around the world, there's lots of little things to find and explore, like this mysterious book that I just found right here. These are a part of a collectible, and the game kind of draws you towards them by having this nice purple glow at those things. You can see quest markers in the background, so helping you find those quests. There's no auto path system like you might be used to in Black Desert Online, but this is very reminiscent of games like Final Fantasy XIV and Guild Wars 2 and World of Warcraft in terms of how the actual questing and navigation work.
Yeah, but I'm fairly certain that the questing in TNL is stronger than a game like Final Fantasy, at least in the early levels. Obviously, the main story of Final Fantasy is actually good, right? but like the early game questing of Final Fantasy, I've gotten to like level 20 or so. And there's no narrator telling me what the is going on. So if you're not literally sitting there reading every single thing and like listening to everything and trying to figure out what everything is, you get lost.
Work. Character,
like, I'll applaud Throne and Liberty for at least keeping you engaged with the narrator and stuff, but I will also say negative Throne and Liberty that its main story sucks. It sucks. ARR questing is a nightmare. Wait, what ARR questing? Do you mean like the questing between the main story? That shit kind of sucks. I did not like doing that. Ragdens, thanks for the Prime sub, buddy. I appreciate that. A Realm Reborn. Oh, okay, yeah. Final Fantasy, right?
Creature animations are very...
Yeah, again, I got to level 20, and that's what turned me off about the game in the first place for Final Fantasy, is that I was like, God, dude, like, it was fun running place to place, but like, I was told that this storyline is good, and it just didn't grip me. You know what I mean?
Very well done. You see right now I have my little Ematoy, I think it's called, Ematoy, whatever they call it. I don't know, some stupid fairy thing. There we go. It's called a...
Yeah, it's basically your fairy and your pet.
Yeah, we'll go with Amatoy. I'm probably mispronouncing that. And if I am, you can correct me in the comments later. But you can see he's very, very cute. And you can select many different types of Amatoys. Each ones have different animations. The creatures in general in this game, even the mobs that you run around. Here's another player running around right here beside me. You can see his character looks different than mine, even in ground transportation, because his animations are smooth and my animations are...
That's the reason that they look different. That's the reason that they look different.
Just smooth. This is what
I didn't buy the $100 pack. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that this is the $100 ultimate pack, right? Like that's what this is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure what this is. Razor, thanks for the Prime sub. Thank you so much, buddy. Is this only the $40 pack? The wolf is the $40? This is the $70. I haven't met with the $40 pack. Oh, okay. Well, this guy literally just said, yeah, I don't need any of that. I'm just going to walk away, right? Zerden paid his $40. It'll get you the wyvern. I'm not even using the wyvern. I'm using the bald eagle.
I'm talking about. The game just looks beautiful. And as we go over and we start to...
Yeah. Oh, sorry. This isn't the game. It's my bad. Yeah. Look good. Looking good. Looking good, bro.
Fight mobs and we fight other creatures in the world. You'll also see that those animations are quite pretty. And we'll do a little quick
Yeah, I mean, like the crazy thing, like here's the thing. If you like Black Desert over Throne and Liberty, I can completely understand why a player would like BDO over TNO. Because let's be honest, we all love BDO. The reason why a lot of us are playing Throne and Liberty is because they ruined their game. Black Desert has the potential, what Throne and Liberty has over BDO are kind of just the systems in the game, right? Like dungeons and PvP stuff, right? Well, BDO could just like have that stuff. That's not something that like BDO just can't have, right? Combat, BDO is way better. And graphically, they're kind of on the same playing field for the most part. So like, there's no reason BDO couldn't be just as good as TNL on the systems and just be a better game. Part of the reason we're all upset is because they just won't fix the damn game. It'd be like that, bro. Yeah, BDO's got a boob slider, man. What are we talking about? I love BDO. I do. And I can absolutely see why a life skilling player would prefer BDO or a solo player would prefer BDO. Or like, if you think the combat's ass, that's, you know, that's a fair take. You know what I mean? Because the action combat's not going to hold anything to a tab target system. It's not even a question. But if you can kind of look past the fact that the combat is not as good as BDO's, I think the game absolutely holds up on all the other fronts.
Quick combat just to show you guys how these animations look. So here's the combat mechanics. I play in what we call action camera. There's two different types. There's tab target, like traditional tab target, and there's the action cam. So right now what you're seeing here is the action camera. And I'll go a little more in depth into how actual combat works in a little while here. But yeah, this is generally the animations. They look beautiful.
Oh yeah, the animations look really good. It's way better than Ashes of never being created. I simply think that comparing BDO, comparing Throne and Liberty at this point is very far-fetched if you claim with certainty which game is better or worse, and seeing for how many years BDO has been captivating thousands of players. Oh god, bro. You just want to get banned. That's what. These Pearl Abyss simps are gonna kill me, chat. They're gonna give me a hernia. Like literally, these virtue signaling Pearl Abyss simp lords are literally just gonna give me a hernia. Like God is my witness. No, it's not better. I played BDO for 7 years. It's not a better game. Yeah, it does have. See, your problem is you're too attached to BDO to look at it objectively. I'm not saying Throne and Liberty is an objectively better game overall. What I'm saying is that Throne and Liberty beats Black Desert in very specific categories like PvE. I think that graphically, not having to turn your graphics down and not having pop-in means that it is stronger from a distance and during PvP combat and PvE combat because you don't have to turn down your graphics to get performance. Okay? That's a fact. That is 100% a fact. Okay? The PvE is stronger because there are actual dungeons that you can do at all points in times. There are contracts that you can do all the time as well. There are open world guild events that bring your guild together. So the PvE is stronger. That is a fact, right? The PvP systems are stronger. That's a fact. The way you group up in PvP and the dynamic world events is way more fun than BDO's PvP system. Currently, Node Wars is an FFA free-for-all, okay? And it's garbage. It's terrible. Do you know how many guilds dropped for Siege on EU this past week? None. Zero guilds. Okay. The castle owners who are forced to drop, the game drops them automatically, dropped them. Okay. And those castle guilds got their castle, and not a single other guild even bothered to drop, even for rewards. So don't tell me that I can't compare Black Desert to Throne and Liberty
equals MMO. BDO equals Crimson Desert Waiting Lobby.
You can't say you can't compare BDO to Throne and Liberty because Throne and Liberty hasn't been out for 7 years. So let me get this straight. Your entire argument is that you have to wait 7 more years to compare BDO to Throne and Liberty. That's your argument. Like, no, you can compare it right now. They're both in the same genre. You can absolutely compare them. I'll compare World of Warcraft. By this same logic, you couldn't compare World of Warcraft to BDO. Yes, I can. World of Warcraft's PvE is way better than BDO's. I haven't even played it yet, and I know it is. Because they actually have raids, dungeons, and all kinds of content that you can do. Okay? But the combat in the PvP in BDO is infinitely better than World of Warcraft. Not even remotely close. You can absolutely compare the two games. Okay? Throne of Liberty can be compared to BDO. Okay? Just because you don't give a shit about playing with other players, okay, doesn't mean that people can't compare the MMO. All right? If you're a solo player, go play The Witcher. If you're a solo player, you're going to have a way better time playing Assassin's Creed than you are playing an MMO. It's just the truth. Okay? It's just the truth. Why did you guys unpin Chernobog server? What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, there is literally no shot. Yeah. Wait. He's put more. I have not said that you can't compare it. I simply think that comparing Throne and Liberty at this point is very far-fetched. Well, you did say that. But it's literally right here. You literally just said that. I said you can you claim after a week of playing TNL which game is better. That's not very credible. It's like comparing first impressions of some games after thousands of hours. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, he's stupid. Oh, no. Oh, my God. I've been talking to you like you have a brain, and that's my fault. I will dumb this down. I apologize. It's my fault. I expected too much. Okay, so,
Skadoosh just resubscribed for 8 months.
Okay. This Black Desert, this Throne in Liberty, can compare both games. Can compare both games. Can like both games. Big smile. Can like both game. Okay. But can see some parts this game bad. Some parts this game bad. Some parts this game good. Some parts this game good. Me no half play 7 years to no see. Me play 1 week, me see good, me see bad. Me just see. Okay? You don't have to play for 7 years, guys, in order to determine whether or not a game is good or bad. And I am not saying that Throne and Liberty is objectively a stronger game. Oh, well, right now it is an objectively stronger game. I'm just going to say it. It is. It's a stronger game than BDO is right now. For sure. The current state of Black Desert being in the literal dumpster trash fire that it is currently, because the developers have destroyed the game and refused to listen to their player base, makes Throne and Liberty a stronger game overall. That does not mean that Black Desert is a bad game. That means that Black Desert is a good game, that the developers are holding it back, and the developers are holding it back from being objectively stronger than TNL, which it should be. This should be a stronger game than Throne and Liberty is. It should be. Because it has better gameplay, right? Its combat is much stronger and has much more dynamics to it. But it's not. Because the developers have ruined the market. They've ruined the progression system. It's Cronstone Desert, right? It's Deborah's Online, right? Your progression system is ruined. The market system is ruined. Dekia 2 is completely ruined. All sorts of progression, like PvE content in the game. There's no group content that's come out. No new group grind zones. No even solo grind zones have come out in the last like year or so now, since Ulakita, which came out I think like a year ago now. And then Throne and Liberty, you've got all of these dungeons that are, and also Black Desert refuses to release the 4th layer of its dungeon, right? It's got like the guild bosses, but like that's it. That's all we have. Like that's all we've gotten in like the last year and a half, and like everything else in the game is ruined. So yeah, the game is worse right now. Okay, that's just the truth. If they fix Black Desert, a lot of players will return to the game. And I'm not trying to say that Black Desert, I'm not trying to undervalue the 40,000 hours that I've spent on BDO, or 45,000 hours that I've spent on BDO. I had a great time with BDO. I love it. But I can also take a step back and see that objectively, TNL is stronger in certain aspects of how it chooses to approach and itself as an MMO. Like PvE is a good example. Also, the PvP systems are just stronger. Like the combat in BDO is better. The character creator is better. And that's about it right now. BDO has potential to be much stronger than TNL. If they release a lot of dungeons and stuff for BDO, BDO, they release a lot of dungeons for BDO. They fix the PvP content. They fix the group content for BDO. Like picture this. Okay, guys, wrap your head around this. What if in Black Desert, there were dynamic group events that spawned in the world, and whatever guild came and killed more mobs at Ash Forest in the given amount of time on that server, got more contribution and got more loot, got like buffs and stuff. Like the top 3 guilds got like buffs and shit. Crazy. What if some of those events were PvP events? Right? Like, wouldn't that be really cool? Like, hey guys, you have to go grind you have to go grind Ash Forest for like the next, 30 minutes or whatever. And every time you kill 10 minutes worth of mobs, then you go interact with this thing and it deposits that. But if you die at 80 point to the mobs or to a person, you lose all that contribution, right? And the guild with the most contribution at the end of the time wins, and they get a special reward, right? And you can make some of them PvP and some of them PvE events, just like Throne of Liberty does. It's really not that big of a deal. That would make BDO's open world a lot stronger. It would be fun. PA hates PvP, yeah. Crazy, wild, wowee, yeah. What if the T11 mount was a dragon? I still wouldn't go. All TL servers are character creation locked, so you just can't play. Are all the servers full for Throne and Liberty? Are all of the Throne and Liberty servers full right now? It's full. I have good news, guys. If you log on to Black Desert right now, I bet you can enter any server you want. You're good. Robin says, this is pure copium. Give Throne some time, and you will make statements with the game is objectively better or worse. No. I mean, you can see very quickly, okay, yeah, the system in this game, the systems for this in this game are stronger than this other game, right? For example, the graphics in Throne and Liberty are better than World of Warcraft. You can make that statement. It's not even a question. It's a fact, right? It doesn't mean it's perfect. And it doesn't mean, do you think that Throne and Liberty is better than World of Warcraft? No. Right? Do I think that TNL is objectively stronger game than Black Desert in its current state with the overall looking at it? Absolutely. But that's why I'm mad at BDO. Because BDO is a better game, but refuses to live up to its potential. We have been asking for dungeons and raid content in BDO for years. We've been asking for good PvP systems for years. Fuck, we can't even get a spectate in our AOS matches. Okay? Don't tell me that I can't compare TNL to Black Desert. I can absolutely compare it immediately. Now, long term, we'll see how TNL holds up, but I can tell you the dungeons are always better than Black Desert, at least in its current state, because Black Desert doesn't have any dungeons. Its group content in TNL is way better than Black Desert because Black Desert doesn't have any group content. Okay? It's just better. Right? So you can't argue that it's not better. It's a fact. And I can play it for 10 minutes and know this. Okay? Like, does it have dungeons? Yes, it's immediately better than Black Desert Online. In terms of PvE. The combat is objectively way worse than TNL. Right? Like, and I can make that comparison too. After playing TNL for 10 fucking minutes or for 4 days, I can be like, oh yeah, TNL's combat's way worse, right? Like the character creation is way worse. The boob slider, big minus, right? I guess explaining the difference to you about fair comparison is a tough call. This is a fair comparison. That's why you don't understand it. I'm being fair. You are not. You are incredibly biased towards Black Desert. You're not able to see it. You're not able to see it. So like for a lot of Black Desert players that still hold that Black Desert's a better game, it's because, oh, the combat in TL is shit. Yeah, and that's all they can say. Because if you compare the combat, that's true. They're not wrong, right? And they know that they're not wrong about that one aspect of the game, but almost everything else goes to TNL at this point. Like, it's just the way that it is. The reason we're all so mad with Black Desert is because all of these points should go to BDO. You know why? Because the gameplay's better, right? Like Black Desert has better combat. It should have better PvE. It should have better PvP systems. It should have more it should have more group content, right? Because it's been out for longer. How in the is a release game that's been out for 1 year in Korea have more group content, dungeons, and raids than Black Desert that's been out for 7 years? What are we talking about? Like, why the is the performance in Throne and Liberty? Why are the is the performance in Throne and Liberty infinitely better than BDO. Do you guys want to see something funny? Yo, let's watch. I want to play a game, chat. Let's play a game. We're going to play who's lagging more. We're going to play who is lagging more. Oh God. We're going to have a fun game that we're going to play right now. Okay, so here is... Wait. Oh, wait. That was the other Zeratin video that I reacted to. That's insane. This one right here.
10 seconds.
Okay, so if I just go to a random spot, let's go ahead and watch this for a second. I'm just gonna do this. Shit, there is no boss anymore. You're just killing people. This is an epic. This is epic graphics. All effects on. Actually, no, there is a boss. He's still at 25.
Coming in point one.
Point one. That's northeast.
I'm thinking they're regroup.
Okay. There are probably 240 people on the screen right now with over 450 people participating in this one event, and there's no lag. Now let's look at Black Desert Siege last week. Let's look at Black Desert Siege. Let's look at how BDO Siege went. Oh, I can't wait. Okay. So, Black Desert Siege this past week had maybe 100 total players. I would say at maximum 150 total players. Okay. Like if you let's cope 250, half of what TNL has. Let's look.
Dog, what I don't even understand is my guild has like 60 people. When there's no way Dynasty's at 100, we don't have that many. Maybe they are. I don't know, bro. But it should not be this laggy. I got 200 and WoW's dead. I'm gonna
Fucking what, dude?
You can't call Throne and Liberty. You've only played it for 1 week. You can't possibly know that it's a better game. Yeah, I can. All right, let's hit northeast. Let's go northeast. Let's go northeast. Hit him early. Hit him early. Hit him early. Just dive away from the boss.
They are out of zone.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that I can.
Oh, what, dude?
Yeah. Shut the up. $160 people in the siege. 160 people in the siege. That was his experience. Over 450 in our... It's not even a siege. It's just an open world boss. Over 450 people, no lag. Epic graphics. You'll notice that his graphics are in potato mode. Okay? You can't compare the two. BDO's been out for 7 years. Of course it's better. No, it's not. And this is how I know.
Dog, what I don't even
exactly like this. Okay? Don't tell me Throne and Liberty has worse graphics when this is what you have to play it in BDO to get the job done. Anyone can see that, okay, yeah, when shit actually hits the fan in TNL, you can play in epic graphics, no big deal, right? And the server performance is infinitely better. I don't understand how Pearl Abyss can't pull their head out of their ass when, like, literally 7 years of this. 7 years of this. We've been playing this for a week. Haven't lagged once. All effects on. Total epic graphics. Don't tell me I can't compare the two games. I absolutely can, and I will. Okay? Throne and Liberty is a stronger game right now, plain and simple. Performance, graphically, PvE-wise, it is what it is. BDO has potential to be a stronger game than Throne and Liberty, and that's why we're all mad with the Pearl Abyss developers right now. That's just the truth. It's the same engine, it's just better graphics. No, BDO has its own engine.
Stance, it's more of a stance than it is a proper weapon, weapon swap. And the stance, the way this affects you is, let me just clear this enemy off me real quick. The way that the stances affect you in this game is that your stat bonuses or your passives are derived from your stance. So if you're in a short sword and shield stance, let's go to our skills, right? if you're in that sword and shield stance, you're getting the passives from the sword and shield. So these are your passives, right? These are sword and shield passives: skillful evasion, resilient mind. And you can pause and take a closer look at these if you'd like. But you get passives based off of these when you're in sword and shield, and you get passives based off of your greatsword skills when you're using the greatsword. These are going to increase your damage and your maximum health and your CC resistance, things like that. So when you're in combat, like you're fighting a player 1 versus 1, maybe you want to be in your greatsword stance. But when you get into a situation where perhaps you're fighting more than one player and you need to be more defensive while still being able to deal damage, you might switch over to your sword and shield stance while still belting out your greatsword skills. Something to consider. All in all, I really enjoy the combat system. It's not Black Desert Online. Black Desert Online, in my opinion, has the bar none top-end combat system. There's no game that out there that I have seen that can beat that just
yet.
Yep.
It's in terms of best in genre combat. He's absolutely right. It is. You know what? I'll make these smaller. Black Desert, Lost Ark, and there's a huge gap, and then I think it's probably Throne, and it's not even close, right? Probably like this.
Their ability to animation cancel and their combo skills are fantastic. But if you liked Guild Wars 2, this is going to feel really, really comfortable. And if you liked World of Warcraft, it's going to feel familiar enough where you're not going to feel out of place doing it. If you liked games like Final Fantasy XIV, this game is going to be markedly faster in terms of the abilities you need to execute, whereas every ability is off of the global cooldown, whereas some abilities in Final Fantasy XIV are off the global cooldown, and it's a long global cooldown, and you're kind of interweaving those non-GCD abilities in. In this game, all your abilities are non-GCD abilities because there is no GCD. So there's something to keep in mind. When you first start the game, the combat does feel a little bit slow, and the reason that the combat feels
like ass for the first 15 levels.
A little bit slow is because your abilities execute kind of slowly. But one thing I did want to kind of point out to you is you upgrade these abilities as you go. So you're going to start with some abilities and...
Oh, I love... Patwin says, imagine making the best combat system in MMOs and telling players to use it to grind solo packs of brainless mobs for 8,000 hours. There it is. It's just incredible to all of us how you can literally have not even close. The combat in BDO, it's not even close. To have the best combat in any MMO and somehow have the worst systems to use that combat in of any MMO. How do you fuck up the systems that badly enough? How do you even do that? That's why we're all pissed. You know what I mean? To be honest, I don't think the PA even did it on purpose. They didn't know how the diamond was made. Yeah, like, here's the thing. I do think that grinding in circles for thousands of hours in BDO is a great way to emphasize how good its combat system is, right? Because you get to use that combat system, grinding mobs for thousands of hours. That's great. However, initially that was good. And they had a good recipe. Like, hey, what's good about our game is the combat and the graphics. We should let them do the combat all the time. And if we make them grind for thousands of hours, that will allow us to do that. So it actually works to let your PvE be that way in BDO. The problem is that over time, they should have expanded on that, right? They should have expanded with dungeons, raids, group content, group grind zones. And don't tell me, it's like, oh, BDO has group grind zones. Yeah, it has Olins. That's it. That's all you can really do right now is Olins. Like, you do it Dekiaturos griefing, right? That's it. That's all you can really do right now. And if you're a new player, there's no group grind zones. What are you supposed to do? Go to Basildon? If you're a new player, what's the first group grind zone you actually get to reach? I think it's base Turos. That is not griefing yourself. Do not tell me Altar Imps is not griefing. Altar Imps is griefing. Altar Imps is griefing out of your mind. Castle Ruins is griefing. What is that? Abandoned Monastery AM, I think, is griefing as well. It's basically Upper Gyphins. Oh, true. Upper Gyphins is the only thing that you can do. But once you're past 600 gear score, which is pretty quick, right? Waragons, baby. Yeah, like, so Upper Guyvins is a fair one, right? And then once you're past that, there's no more group grinding for another, until you reach Dekia Olans, basically. Like, that's it. Like, you don't really get to do anymore. Upper Guyvins is kind of griefing. It is kind of griefing, but it's more viable and less griefing than all the other group grind zones are. And that's why BDO just sucks. Is that it's just grinding mobs in circles. There's no group they never expanded on their original recipe. Their original recipe was, we're just going to let our players grind in circles for thousands of hours and use the combat system that they love so much. And then we're going to let them fight each other all the time. Well, now they've taken away fighting each other all the time. And so it's just grinding in circles for thousands of hours. And now there's no point because they've taken away the progression system too. So like, what you have is the best combat system in the genre. And not a single thing to use it on. Because if you grind PvE, your progression is the same thing every time. It doesn't matter. Your progression doesn't matter anymore. You can't sell anything on the marketplace. Like, the PvE is the same mobs that you grinded before. You don't even get to really upgrade from there or go to a different spot. Like, there's like legitimately nothing that you can do any different now. And you're wondering why Throne and Liberty is considered a better game in Black Desert's current state. This is the reason. It's because somehow the developers have found a way to make BDO a worse game. Because BDO is a better game. It should be, by all rights.
And they'll
life skillers are having a better time in BDO, no question.
start at green, and then you'll upgrade them from green to blue. And this is where this is part of the grind of the game. And that's okay.
You didn't have this problem last year? BDO is not that type of game. What do you mean? We didn't have what problem last year? You mean lag? Pop in? No group content? Dekia Desert Online? All of this existed last year. It's just been a cascade of dumb, right? Last year, at least there was hope. Now, I think that Black Desert players, their faith in the developers has been shaken almost beyond repair in a lot of cases. Like mine certainly has, but I don't just speak for me. I speak for a lot of BDO players in this case that have come to me and said that like they just don't trust the developers to fix the game at this point. You know, like if we trusted BDO to fix the game, then we wouldn't be playing Throne and Liberty.
okay. I mean, I don't mind a grind. It keeps me busy. But these skills have upgrades and specializations. So sometimes the upgrade increases the damage. Sometimes it increases an effect on that ability. As you can see right here, these are all like damage increases on this ability. This is a stun duration, shock duration, cooldown increase. Cooldown increases are good because, or cooldown decreases, I should say, are good because they let you execute that ability faster. And when you're executing the ability faster, and you're doing that.
Okay, this last thing and then I'll lock in. Part of the reason that I keep making BDO videos, guys, and I keep making BDO content is because I do have faith that Black Desert can be a better game. And I hope that it does become a better game that we can all go enjoy again. I do. And that's why I keep covering the patch notes. That's why I keep doing, I'm going to keep doing the podcast. I keep doing like the reacts and covering the news and whatnot. But like, until they fix it, it's really hard to support them. It's really hard to support BDO until they fix their game. No game is perfect. We're not asking for perfection. If you think we're asking for perfection, you're an idiot. We're not asking for perfection here. Throne and Liberty is not a perfect game. Are you kidding me? The combat kind of sucks. You know what I mean? It's like whatever. We're just dealing with it.
Repeatedly without a GCD, it makes the game's combat feel faster. Now, couple that with skill specializations, where you can go in here and add custom effects to skills, right? You have things that might increase the damage, that will have other effects, but also they increase.
I use classic mode most of the time as a healer, but most people use the action mode when they're in combat.
They fix this, they decrease that cooldown again. So in this case, you have like a 15% cooldown decrease. Over here, you have a 15% cooldown decrease. On this one, you have a flat 5-second cooldown decrease, and those are factors. So those things do help combat feel a lot faster. In addition, like in the Ice Tornado, you have something that will increase your combat speed by 100, or your attack speed by 100% while using that skill.
This is what makes the combat not ass in Throne and Liberty. These skill specializations make the combat actually really bearable in Throne and Liberty. It's like, okay, yeah, I can work with this. It went from okay, the combat is so ass, I'm still gonna have to play Black Desert even though it's a garbage game, to, okay, now the combat is at least in a playable state and we can enjoy the rest of the game because the combat feels much stronger.
So
It's literally night and day for me. It's completely different.
as you enhance these abilities, as you upgrade them, the combat does start to feel a lot more fluid. So it takes time for you to get to the point where you're comfortable.
I was so happy with skill specializations because I'll be honest with you, I loaded in and like I had to sit there casting fireball. I like, huh? Bam! And I was like, please don't tell me that's what it's like. Like, oh, thank God. Yeah, is this my life now? Yeah, it was.
With the combat. So just keep that in mind as well. Another thing to keep in mind is
There's not enough people to kill Garmoth? Wait, really? Is Garmoth not dying in North America? Are you serious? There's not enough people online to kill Garmoth in BDO? That's rough, guys. That's kind of rough, boys. That's kind of rough, guys. 60% health still. It's been up for 20 minutes.
is that you will get transcendent skills and other things to help interweave with your abilities to make them more fluid.
There's only 2 people at Pig King. I sincerely hope. I'm laughing right now because our game is just in flames and we're like, this is fine. I sincerely hope, though, tell me that the most stressed person in the world right now is not Jay Kim. Jay has to address the players this month. And he has already told us, guys, just wait 1 more month. I'm going to address you guys. We're going to address all of these problems, right? That's basically what he said in the last dev note that they gave us. He said, just give us 1 more month. We're working on it. We're going to fix it. Then I was reached out to by someone else from Korea. One of the people over in Korea. I can't say who, but one of the people that works for Perlibus in Korea reached out to me and they said, yeah, they're working on it. They're working on it. And I'll be honest with you, I'm over here just playing Throne of Liberty going, fix it. Don't fix it. We're happy. Okay? If you fix it, we come back and play BDO. You don't fix it, we play Throne of Liberty. Tough shit. But they have got to be stressing. They have got to be stressing right now because their player base is lower than I have ever seen it. Okay, let's just look at the Steam charts, okay? And I told you guys that this was going to happen. Oh my God. 12,700. What's the lowest the game has ever been in the history of the game on Steam? I think it's right here. 13.9, 13.5? $13,500 is the lowest in the history of the game since release. 13.5 is the lowest. We're at 12.7 right now, peaking at 13.9. 13.5 is their average here. Okay. That's bad. That is really bad. Like that's, guys, you're like, oh, well, it's like this with every MMO release. No, Lost Ark was a way bigger MMO release. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Okay. Lost Ark is a way bigger MMO release. It was like a 1 million people playing on Steam, right? And BDO did not have, when did Lost Ark release in the West? February 11, 2022. Okay, so let's look at February 11, 2022. February 18,300 from February 2022. Okay. Now look at the numbers on an MMO release that is a third as large. So don't tell me it's just the MMO release because this is just going to keep getting worse. This is just going to keep getting worse. This is peaks. Well, even if it's peaks, yeah, we're still cooked. We're still cooked. Right? I don't think that this is peak. I think this is average for that month. Yeah, no, it's average players for that month. It is not peak. as far as I'm aware. Because if it was peak, it would say that September was 17.9. Oh, no, it is peak. No, it's peak. It's peak. It's peak. It's peak. I lied. It's peak. So peak players, 13.5. Right now, we're at 12.7, 13.9 peak. Give it another week. Give it another week. And that's the lowest of all time. And they can't even kill Garmoth. Guys, to put that in perspective, and how many players that is, they can't even kill Garmoth. Pig King is still alive. That's like the second, that's the new content. The Pig King world boss is supposed to be dead in seconds. There's no one online. And if PC is like that, I'm gonna, guys, come in here. Think about console. Think about console. Garmont 30%, we're cooking. It's been up for 15 minutes.
Moving on to the questing experience, I really enjoyed the way they tell the story in this game. I think this was brilliant. Again, this is one of
the story in Throne and Liberty sucks balls. It's still better than Black Desert's story, but it sucks. But the way that they tell the story is good. The narrator, amazing. Amazing.
those things that I didn't really want to like. Honestly, I
Conveyance is way better.
I wanted
exactly.
it to be bad, but it's actually not.
Still better than BDO, you know? Still better than BDO, but garbage still.
Not bad. The questing
I'm still waiting to play my first MMO that actually has a good story.
Experience is good. When you complete a quest, what ends up happening is you'll go through on a main story quest, you might experience a cutscene. There's a lot of voice acting. The voice acting is actually pretty damn good quality.
Yeah, the voice acting is really good too. I just went like I don't know, the story just didn't grip me super hard.
It is.
There was the super hot Elezra mommy in the Throne and Liberty story, and we didn't see it. She didn't get enough screen time.
It is a pleasure to listen to. Lots of emotion baked into that voice acting, which is, if you're coming from a game like the early Black Desert Online or Realm Reborn in Final Fantasy, those are really, really dry deliveries.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Throne of Liberty's reignited my shot calling passion. I think everybody, especially in my community, probably for the first time got to hear. A lot of people haven't heard my shot calling. A lot of my viewers nowadays haven't heard me shot call like legitimately before. And that was the first time they had heard it, and they're like, "Oh shit, that would be what I was discovered for in the first place." I love shot calling. Very excited to do it in TNL.
This does feel more polished and more interesting to listen to. You don't have a character that's going to drone on and be overly verbose like in Final Fantasy XIV. I swear to God, there are some quests in that game. When I complete that quest, my brain straight up goes numb because of the NPC.
Base! I got to level 20 in Final Fantasy and I was like, damn, they said this is the best part of the whole game. This game's garbage. I got to level 20. I'm like, they told me the main story was like really good. Man, this shit sucks.
NPC just wants to talk and they're saying a lot of nothing. They're just using words to exhaust me. It feels like they're trying to fill in time rather than be meaningful with the content. And in Guild Wars 2, I felt like the cutscenes were a little more direct and impactful, where you had a cutscene and that cutscene had a direct impact to the story. It was quick, it was to the point, and then you moved on. One thing that this game does well is it's very much like that. Unlike in Black Desert Online, where your head is going to start spinning because it's making you talk to two NPCs back and forth, and your camera's shifting back and forth.
Nah, BDO is just like, you just speedrun the story. You're so disconnected from the quest line in BDO that like you don't even register what's going on. There was like a main story, like not a single player of the tens of thousands of BDO players that have cycled through my content on YouTube and Twitch. Not a single one of them has come to me and been like, "Hey, just started playing BDO, really hooked in on the main story right now. Is there other stuff that I should be doing?" No. It's never happened. I have to do this, right? Okay. I'm getting through the main storyline. You're so disconnected from it. It's so bad that you're not even worried about it. Even the Jordine saga is like, who asked, bro? Nobody cares.
kind of getting you.
At least Throne and Liberty gives you the narrator. If you speed through it and skip all the cutscenes, the narrator will still keep you kind of engaged with what's going on and kind of update you. And then when you discover waypoints in the world, it'll tell you the history of that area in the world, which is great because you can kind of understand the lore of why that shit is there. In BDO, you don't have that. You just discover that version of the world. It's like your spectrum of knowledge is growing, you know, like, or I guess your spectrum of autism in a lot of cases. And then you just don't know what the lore is in that area.
You dizzy. In this game, it really doesn't do that. You have a nice cutscene from a good camera angle, and it's going to tell you a narrative. And then once that narrative is complete, it ends that cutscene. The nice thing about it is when it ends that cutscene, it will oftentimes you'll hear a narrator narrate what happens afterward. The narrator will kind of give you a summary. So if you are a dirty R spammer and you're just R spamming through quests, you're going to hear that narrator give you a quick summary of what you just went through. Traversing around the world is relatively easy. I can just kind of look at a point, like if I want to go back to town, it's very simple for me. I can just press a button. So if I want to go back to town, the town is accessible at the press of a button for me. I could just kind of press my teleport back to town.
That motherfucker didn't know which button the town teleport was. That's crazy. Did you guys see that cut? It was really subtle. He didn't know it.
Accessible at the press of a button for me. I could just kind of press.
There it is. He didn't.
My teleport.
It's B. Yeah. It's B. Yeah, that's what it is.
Back to town button. I immediately start casting, and then away I go back to town.
Hit the whole.
Nice, and then you just come back to town. I mean, depending obviously on your load speed. As you can see, the game, even in early access, is extraordinarily populated. This is not even a starting town. This is kind of like the second or third town in. But as you progress, people are also going to be progressing with you. And especially early in the game feels most alive.
Who plays the MMO for the story anyway? Well, that's why Throne and Liberty did it so well, is that like most players are not here for the story. And so you can speed through it. And the narrator will still kind of just generally tell you what's going on in the background as you run through the world. That's great. Right? Because most players don't care. And for the players that do care, they'll sit there and watch it and listen to the rich story and lore and stuff. So I think that they've done it correctly.
I know that you don't see a lot of nameplates here, but these are all actual players. I've set my game up in a way that it's got a much more adventurous feel to it, where nameplates aren't displayed over every player's head, but rather only over the players that I mouse over. So while this might be an NPC, this here is an actual player, to give you an idea. And that's...
How's the combat in the game? That's all I care about. Yeah, just keep playing BDO. You're never going to play another game in your life. You get Naraka Blade Point is the next best game that you're going to play, okay? If you're a player that legitimately cannot play a game that has worse combat than BDO, it has worse combat than BDO. It's just that simple. In my opinion, the combat is good. For the MMO genre, the combat is pretty damn good. But it is not as good as BDO, and so you're sticking with BDO. Have fun killing Garmoth. I'm pretty sure it's still up, even though it spawned an hour and a half ago.
Based off of how I've set up my UI. Overall questing experience, I'd give it a pretty good positive look. It's not the best I've ever experienced, but it's got it's taken good ideas from other games and applied them here. So just something to keep in mind as you continue to and quest on. Group content at level 29, I've gotten experience 1 dungeon so.
When the hype dies and the new cupcake feel goes away, Throne of Liberty should have 50 to 100k player base. That would feel great still. No, I would say it'll probably tank to 1/10 of what it is at its peak. So I think that right now, if we're peaking 300k, you know, you're looking at 30,000 players. I think that it would be
At
good.
Blue_Squadron, the real question is, can I gather wild herbs with my hoe while waiting for Garmoth to die in Throne?
No, there's no gathering in Throne. We gather corpses because we're gonna farm your ass because you're a pussy life skiller and no one likes you. Okay, but like I think that 30,000 people would be a good thing for Throne to maintain. Okay.
So far, it was pretty straightforward.
How many bots? There are no bots in Throne and Liberty that I'm aware of because we got the new version of the game. So like there was a big botting problem in Korea, and NCSoft figured out how they were botting and like purged all of the bots from the server. Then when they gave the West the game, they put all of that bot detection software in our game. So there's just, as far as I'm aware, we haven't had any bot issues yet. But we will see. There might be, but like NCSoft has been really good about fixing bots. So
The mechanics were simple enough to understand, and you're going to expect more of the simple stuff at these early levels.
When was the last time BDO hit 30K on Steam? Land of the Morning Light Part 1. This is Land of the Morning Light Part 1 release, and that's when Lost Ark died. That's why we hit 30. Before that, it was February 2023. That was a year after Lost Ark. I'm not sure what happened here. Not sure which release this is, but they hit it from time to time. They peak it. Right, here's a 30. Here's a 40. Right? BDO is supposed to be hitting 30 every once in a while. The average for BDO is supposed to sit somewhere around 20,000. 20 to 25K, I would say, is normal for the player base. The reason people are really upset right now, and the reason you can tell the game is struggling, is because, look, bro, we're peaking 13.8. Peaking 13.8. Okay? Like, that's rough. Even for an MMO release, it was never that low during Lost Ark or New World.
I should unlock the next dungeon here within the next level, but the dungeons do seem straightforward. It does deviate from the 5-man meta we usually see in video games. So usually in games like World of Warcraft or Guild Wars 2, you have 5-man dungeons. In Final Fantasy XIV, you have a 4-man dungeon system. In this game, you
have 6-man.
You actually have a 6-man dungeon system, which is very different than what I'm used to experiencing.
It's cool. It's fun.
You know, enemy actions are, you basically read their animations, and then you predict whether you need to block or not, or you need to dodge, you need to get out, or you need to stand over here or do whatever. There's the usual trope of MMO mechanics, but all in all, the game does perform well in terms of the group content. Any game that has PvP content in it, one of the things you kind of worry about is toxicity in that PvP content. But with this game, one of the nice things about that is that it does kind of put you in a situation where you need to be in a group with people. So it does encourage people to play nice with each other, to play fairly.
I haven't really heard any toxicity yet. We have the 2 largest alliances in North America fighting each other. And do you know what Ethereum and the Streamer Alliance said to each other last night? Hey guys, good fights. Thank God. Hey man, hey guys, good fights. That was good shit. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be honest, we weaker than Ethereum. It is what it is. I'm just gonna say it. We weaker than them. We don't know the game as well as they do, and they understand that, and so they're like they're handicapping themselves for it. Thank God, bro.
To be kind in the community to some degree, you're gonna have your rivalries, you're gonna have your beef.
I hear dungeon people are super toxic. You say super toxic. I say super funny. Because if you go to I'll look at the subreddit later. Guys, remind me to look at the subreddit after this.
You're gonna have your combat with people and issues and what have you. But it does make it so that you know, there is group content there, and that group content has a purpose and that brings people together. So I'm just kind of zipping around the world to kind of show you the different biomes. Apparently it's raining everywhere, which is weird, but whatever. Now, as to the PvP systems,
you're gonna want to ERP in BDO because there's a boob slider in BDO. The character creator is better. The ERP is better in BDO. Just the RP is better in general.
Right now, level 29, my PvP experiences have been pretty limited, right? But I can tell you based off of what my guildmates have been doing and what I've
underwear is way better too, yeah.
Seen myself, you know, just from looking at the UI, looking at the calendar.
Asmongold was kicked from his team in a low-level dungeon. Yeah, I'm aware. You know, the funny thing is somebody goes, Blue, Asmongold said he was going to start playing Throne of Liberty and like this was going to be his main MMO. I'm like, the f***? Oh, he did? They're like, yeah, he did it in his last video. It's insane to me how many of you are just this stupid. Where is this video? Let me see if I can't find it. Right here. So I tried this new MMO, and this is where he says it, right? In this thing. Okay, guys, just. I'd love it too. Are we kidding? The dude is being sponsored to play the game. Of course he's playing it. Of course he's gonna say it's really good. It's every video he's got on Throne of Liberty. He's being paid to play the game. He played off stream as well because he's getting paid like probably like 30 or 40 grand to play the game.
And seeing what's available to you in game, right? So open world bosses are a thing. You can see bosses on a schedule. The schedule looks like this, right? And then you can see these bosses right here above my head to the right. You can see
Folks understand how the streamer funding works. Asbin, guys, I hate to burst everyone's bubble, but number one, Asbin would have played Throne and Liberty anyway. Okay, because it's a new MMO. Of course he's going to play it. Number two, I'm not staying with Throne and Liberty. You know how I know? He's not a PvPer. He doesn't like PvP. He thinks that PvP and MMOs is stupid, and everyone that does PvP and MMOs is stupid. Okay? It's the same guy that said Classic WoW has better combat than BDO because he can put his skills on his hotbar. All right? He's not a PvPer. All right? Throne and Liberty is a PvP MMO. All right? Yes, you can sit there and only do PvE, but like most people are just going to go play WoW. You know what I'm saying? He's a good dude. Of course. I'm not trying to shit on Aspen or anything. He doesn't like PvP. He likes PvE. Right? He's not a fan of PvE. He's just a bad gamer. No, Aspen I think is actually pretty good at video games in general. I think in OTK, I think Soda's probably the best gamer, followed by Aspen. Aspen's probably number 2. He just doesn't, he doesn't like the really complicated shit. He likes to work together and have that sense of accomplishment and shit. That's more of a PvE thing. There's nothing wrong with that. He was a Mythic Raider. Yeah, he's a good player.
see these bosses on a schedule, and it will tell you which bosses are going to be PvP bosses. If it says peace, it's peaceful. If it says conflict, then when you go to that world boss, you're going to be fighting over that world boss. That becomes a PvP zone and is open world PvP. So something to
so some of the bosses are PvP, some of the bosses are PvE.
keep in mind. There is another type of event, as you can see right here. It's called Dominion. The Dominion event is a world PvP also event. The game puts you on one of 3 teams. The teams are irrespective of your guild or your friendships. It just shoves you on one of 3 teams, and then boom, you are engaged in a world PvP content over an event. And
I think the Dominion events are by far the worst events in the game. Don't like them. Hate those things.
tonight you'll see some open world dungeons turn into PvP zones. So the game does have open world dungeons, and those do become combat areas at night, making it so you kind of have to watch your back. You have to pay attention to what time of day it is. There are also
Can you PvP to steal a grind zone? Yes, and you're not punished for it. So at nighttime in this game, you can go to the open world dungeons, and the open world dungeons at nighttime are PvP enabled. You don't get any extra drops or anything. It's literally just you can PvP now. And it's a lot of fun. Like, I was hesitant to try it at first. I was like, oh, and then we rolled up with a party of 6 and just started rolling through these other parties, and it was so much fun to like PvE and PvP at the same time and like push people out. It was just fun. Is the game free or not? It is free to play. Yes, free to play.
guild PvP events, but I don't really know much about them yet. And additionally, there is guild versus guild declarations. And from what I understand, you can declare on dozens of guilds.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can just open world PvP anyone at any time if you're decked on them, but I could be wrong about that.
In this game, unlike Black Desert Online, which had a system where you could only declare on 6 guilds at a time, on this game, if you really want to declare war against the whole world, you technically could. But yeah, for that group content, you're going to get those interesting mechanics that you have to get a read on enemy animations like you would expect from any Souls type game. So that is something that I do enjoy. In your class, you'll have to be able to perform in both a PvE and PvP function. So when you go to select what class you want to play, don't think about it strictly in terms of how you're going to perform in PvP, but think about how that class is going to also be in PvE. If you want to be a DPS, if you want to be a damage dealer, you need to pick a DPS class, or combine two, not really picking a class, but you're combining 2 weapon sets that create a DPS class. If you are going to want a tank, like this class here, sword and shield / greatsword is a tank, then that's going to be the role that you're going to be performing in those dungeons. So there's something that you need to keep in mind as well when you're making that selection.
It's my first experience with the role system, and I actually really like it. I like having a role that I'm supposed to do and being really good at it.
So that's about it. This is, like I said, it's a really short video. Just kind of wanted to talk about some of the basics of the game. My experience at level 29. I know a lot of people have been asking about how I feel about it. I do feel positively about it right now, but it is so hard to make a decision on an MMO because MMOs typically do not reveal their true end game until about 2 to 3 months in. About a month in, people will have been level 50 for a little while, and they'll be on that grind for a hot minute. And by the time that they hit that 2-month part, they've been on that grind for a while. Now the game is free to play.
Yeah, we're all still wondering if the game has the legs on it to keep us captivated across multiple months. Right? It's really good right now. It is in that honeymoon phase, and you can tell very, very contrastly how it compares with BDO, right? Contrast with BDO very quickly. But like, can it retain our attention for long periods of time? I don't know. We'll see. It depends on its, but I would say probably because there's a lot of content that they're gonna trickle feed us is already out in Korea that they're gonna kind of hit us with pretty quickly. So my guess is that yes, it will, but we'll see. Yeah.
Play. So there really is no reason for you not to try this for yourself on October 1st when it comes out.
That's today.
If it looks even remotely interesting to you, or if you're just curious, you want to scratch that itch, you can. But the fact is, we don't know if this game has any kind of longevity in the North American market because we don't know what the North American market's going to feel about the end game grind. I have no idea what it looks like. There have been some creators that have done their research and looked into it, but you are always going to be filtered through somebody else's bias. So you need to try and experience.
I think the Western release, the West is going to carry this game, no question. BDO is dead in Korea. It's deadage in Korea, like really hard. It's always been dead in Korea when you compare it to the West. We fund everything that they do, which is why we're upset that they don't listen to us. The developers in Throne and Liberty actually listen to the player base. Is it? I was wondering that. Yeah, I talked to some of the Korean players in my Discord. It's cooked. Do you remember that Jae-hee Kim dev video that we all downvoted? Hold on. Black Desert Online Channel. Here it is. 831 downvotes, 128 upvotes. Okay. In Korea, it was even worse. They released this in Korean, and the Koreans chewed Jay up and spit this back out again. They are pissed. Okay. They're pissed. They are not happy with him. They're more pissed than we are in a lot of cases, and we are giga. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, and so like and again, we used to think that they used to listen to the Koreans only because like how could they not be listening to us? But like nobody, right? How could they not be listening to anyone? Well, it's true. Then once we got together with the Koreans, like, wait, they're not listening to you either? Wait, we thought they were listening to you. Jay? Right? And this is why I know that Jae-hee Kim hates my ass. All right? That hates me because I'm the one that showed everybody that, hey, wait, they're not listening to anyone.
It's that for yourself to see if it's something that's tolerable for you or not. Right now, I have no information.
They have 1.1 million players registered for China next month. Oh, yeah, no, I heard about that. That shit's crazy. That shit's insane. In fact, we're all talking about making Chinese accounts. Because I'll be honest with you, in Naraka Blade Point, the Chinese all come and play on the North American servers and shit on us. And now I'm thinking it's time to run that back. I'm thinking it's time to go run their shit into the ground.
On it, but as I get closer to that endgame content and I start getting on that grind, I'll do an update video talking about how I feel about it, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, as always, thank you guys for being here. Thank you all for tuning in. You guys are amazing. You guys are the reason I'm able to do what I do. If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the channel. It does help me out quite a bit. Yo,
Zerdan, your channel's been popping off, dude. Your YouTube arc is crazy, bro. Here's the video here. Why is the BDO community so mad? I'm asking because I have no idea what's going on. Well, Deacon, welcome in. BDO community is really mad because they've essentially ruined what was a good game for us. The PvP player, they've ruined all the PvP systems. The PvE systems are lackluster and terrible and have no soul in them. They've essentially just, so for PvE, picture this, okay? So what they're doing is they're like, what if you have one grind zone, right, that you've been grinding since 2017, okay? And their definition for good PvE currently is to take that grind zone and to make it stronger. Oh, okay, well, I guess we'll just keep grinding that, sure, okay. You know, it's not really new content, but like it's the mobs are stronger now, sure. And then recently they came out with this, and get this, this is the crazy part, like it's not even over yet, you know what I mean? It's they go up again and then make them stronger again. Yeah, and so when they did this, it's the same mobs that you've been grinding in 2017. They just keep, they're not even bothering to make new mobs anymore. They're just on autopilot. So the PvEers are really upset. They refuse to release the last level of the dungeon or more dungeons in general. The new expansion was a total flop because there's not enough content in it to keep people engaged for long periods of time. The PvP systems were reworked and are the worst state they have ever been in. And people are just extremely upset about this.